such an exciting matchup here. I mean, so much hangs on this very first game. Will we see misplays? What kind of decks are we going to see? How are their analysts doing? Just so much on the line.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that we haven't really discussed is that Ta is considered a top 3 player in the world, but this is his first time. I mean, how that should affect you, where everybody thinks you're going to run the table, go all the way, but you're kind of new to this, really.
Yeah, I mean, they both are. That's the thing about this, is they're both so new to this. Ta, though, having so much success in our monthly finals. You heard he's gotten 1, 2, and 3. He was the second person to win our golden ticket. He was able to 4-0 Muhammad Light, I believe, in our finally monthly finals.
Wow, and that Valkyrie getting the swing off, and that Archer Queen placed perfectly. I think Ryley was trying to catch it with the P.E.K.K.A, keep his Fisherman alive, but not the case. Ta, off to a great start.
Interesting deck here. AQ with Miner and Valk, AC.
Yeah, how does Ryley want to stop this? The Rage is going to get a lot of value. I mean, we discuss it a lot, but I love that the Rage got changed to do damage. It feels like such a healthy card now.
Both of these guys clearly thinking about that Mamba P.E.K.K.A. Both of them running guards. Bomber also a really great response to P.E.K.K.A.
Last card for Ryley should be the E-Spirit.
Is this just like a Miner control, like a facelifted version at the top of the screen?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like the last card should be Poison Log Mortar. But at the same time, that's not going to happen.
Could be Poison Log or like Inferno, too. You know?
Yeah, there we go. There's going to be some variation that we haven't really been seeing all that often.
Yeah, players have been a lot less predictable thus far throughout the day than I think we were expecting. More Lava Hound than we had expected, and more varying versions of P.E.K.K.A decks. We have not seen any Goblin Giant. I know everyone's going to yell at me now that I said it. He's going to start showing up. I'm sorry. There's the Tesla. And it really does just look like a version of Miner Poison Control, but still 2 more cards to see.
Goblin Stein taken out fully. Mamba P.E.K.K.A very healthy right now, and that's going to be a great Ice Spirit. Although he stops the Bomber in its tracks.
Wow, the timing there. Pretty much perfect when you talk about what you needed that Valkyrie to accomplish. Cleans everything up, no damage in. This tower right here is the only one that's been touched by a couple of Miners. 2856 to 2 very healthy towers, and that Archer Queen is going to be a menace for Ryley if he does not have anything to do. And I said it, I did it. I literally, he wasn't even Goblin. It wasn't even the Goblin Giant before I said it. It was a different card.
Yeah, and this is a very cool deck. I really like it. It's so heavy, though. You get into such awkward cycles. P.E.K.K.A, 7 Elixir, Goblin Giant, 6. The Goblin Stein, 5 Elixir, and you still need to activate those abilities. He's really just trying to wait for double Elixir, wait for triple Elixir to start his pushes, and that's exactly what's happened. He's only given up 200 HP worth of damage, and he's really in the driver's seat, I would assume.
Yeah, I mean, because you know, as this game goes on, it's going to be incredibly overwhelming for Ta. You know, when you're running decks like this, there are very, very little margins for error.
Ta showcasing the Zap. And I mean, the last card, it just has to be Poison. And I really like that. You don't want to use the guards, the Bomber, whatever it is. You want to just get more offense on the board. It's now double Elixir, get aggressive, and that's exactly what Ryley's doing.
Yeah, I mean, you think about how much time has passed, and it's like Ryley just did that one little attack, and now he's behind by just a hair. So, I mean, that's really what it comes down to. When you're running something like Miner Control, and that's the only way you're getting damage, your defense has to be perfect, and you've got to continue to get those Miners on the tower. He's got to utilize that 3-card cycle, but it's so tough when you have to worry about these P.E.K.K.A s.
Yeah, and right here, wow, Goblin Curse.
Wow.
Last card for Ta.
That was not on my 2024 World Finals bingo card, but I gotta tell you, I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder how he's going to stack it. The Ice Spirit plus Zap plus Goblin Curse. He has a lot of answers, a lot of cheap answers. It's just going to be kind of how quickly he can cycle to these Evo Valks to help out with his defense. But that's a lot of chip damage. That tower all the way down to 2285, and Ryley takes a massive, massive lead.
Well, Ta's really looking for like Skellies or Goblins or something like that to be picking up his Miner. The guards make it a lot more frustrating and make that Curse a lot less impactful. You see right there, Curse is in, Zap is in, now the Goblins are down. So much time has already passed. There's no scare factor, there's no shock factor there. It's just control, 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 as Ta here is setting up SimCity.
Yeah, I mean, 3 Teslas, it's not going to matter though. I mean, it's just Ryley needs to place troops at the bridge for the next 25 seconds and he's going to win.
That's exactly what he's doing. Ryley doing a great job recognizing what's going on. Didn't give away a lot of damage in single, and now you can see Ta's face. There's no way to defend this, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a nice Game 1 win for the Canadian as Ryley takes his very first game of his very first World Finals.
Ryley and his coach have to feel so good because there's so many different variations. There's the E-Spirit variation, but no, instead he goes heavy on heavy. And Ta, I mean, that just can't be what I mean, he's expecting bait. That's the answer. That's why you have the Goblin Curse, plus the Zap, plus the Ice Spirit. You're trying.
And some cheers for Ryley here from the crowd. Obviously one of the biggest content creators in the game.
Was that a newspaper on the stand for Ryley? Is he catching the news?
I mean, he might be catching up on some reading.
Good for him.
And Dark Goblin out. Ryley definitely running baits, as we could see that barrel out early. And AC, Juicy, Rich, we talked about this deck quite a bit yesterday, and it looks like Ryley might be running the version with no spell at all, and it's just all about overwhelm, overwhelm, overwhelm. It's a fascinating deck, it's a frustrating deck, and it's a fun one. Beautiful timing. Yeah, I mean, you even heard the crowd. Yeah. All of us on the same page there. That is not an easy move to pull off, especially on the World Final stage.
Yeah, I mean, as impressive as the timing is, if your opponent outplays you and places it in the front, it's very clear that Ryley can't really do that every time. Ta is going to recognize that, put that in the front for the next one. So Ryley, while very, very impressive, will need to be careful about it.
And Princess for Princess here, as that E-Spirit's looking to do anything. Skelly's ready to go. Ice Spirit on the other side, and I mean, this is why, you know, it's consensus at this point that he's the best log bait player in the world, and he's doing it here on the biggest stage in the world.
There we go. I mean, a minute and 15 seconds in, and he's already getting the Evo Goblin Barrel out. I mean, this is exactly how you want to play this deck. Princess at the bridge. This is perfection so far.
Dark Goblin gets 3 shots on the other side. Ta's Princess takes out the Princess of Ryley. 26-04 lowest tower for Ta. 25-34. Ryley technically behind by just a bit.
Wow. See, the way Ryley plays, I can't remember what game it was earlier, but basically when I'm watching a game and I can't figure out why you make a play, that's just my favorite thing in Clash Royale. Right there, he waits for the Princess to attack the Crown Tower, and then he goes in with Goblin King, Dark Goblin at the same time. That is just so cool, and I never see it except when it's from Ryley.
Yeah, just a great job of Ryley recognizing there's no splash damage really in Ta's hand at that moment. Like you said, Princess is gone, Gobsign ends up coming down to clean it up, and that's really the only other response, but that does take time. The overwhelm is in, ladies and gentlemen, or at least it's trying to, as that cannon comes out. Dark Goblin at the bridge, Princess right behind, but Ta doing a really great job of hanging on here.
Yeah, Goblin King to defend the left, and the real Goblins are going to go to the right. Still not going to be that big a problem. Ice Spirit plus the Skellies going to be able to defend that very nicely. And wow, these towers are all very even. This is as even as it gets heading into overtime.
For as much as we are praising Ta and Ryley with that really nice play there, I mean, as much as we're praising Ryley, Ta's doing a really, really great job of hanging on. And 23-64 is his lowest tower. Ryley's is 24-14. Princess protected, cannon to the bridge. Yeah, that Goblin Stein becomes a little bit more frustrating.
Yeah, again, predicting everything. It really does feel, even if you could watch your opponent play his cards, you're making so many decisions, it would be impossible to keep up. And Ryley's doing that without that knowledge.
Dark Goblin protected, putting up some pressure. Takes out the Dark Goblin of Ta. That Dark Goblin is still alive. Second Dark Goblin is in. Skelly's behind. E-Spirit to stop the bleeding. Wow, this looks so frustrating and difficult to play against. I mean, Ryley's pressure is so good. His defense is so immaculate. I mean, he has spent thousands of hours mastering the interactions of these cards.
Yeah, I mean, not a
Look
drop
at that.
of sweat.
Oh my goodness.
He
knows the Evo Skellies are there, and Ta's playing just a hair too predictable.
This is like 8 different predictions in this game. This is quite possibly the greatest game of bait ever played.
And just, oh, and there it is, finally, AC, what you're talking about. Goes to the front, Valkyrie behind, snowball in to get some damage in. And wow, that's pretty good from Ta. Ability not what he wants, but still, that is good. Princess is on top of the tower. You can't get on top of that Doctor.
Yeah, right there. I mean, just one mistake from Ryley and Ta screams into the lead. This Princess on the right side is going to be able to hit this tower, and the Princess on the left is getting chipped as well. Ryley able to recover very nicely.
10-90, 8-31, 38 seconds remain. Goblin Gang plus barrel push left-hand side. Ta trying to stay alive, hoping that the push on the right can end the game.
Princess taken out by the cannon, but these Dark Goblins getting stacked, plus the Goblin Umbrella pressure, it's going to be insane. I don't think Ta's going to be able to keep up.
Ta gets the snowball in. Gang is there to clean up 471, 916. Another barrel comes down. 15 seconds remain. Evo Skelly's to clean. Cannon already there. Ryley is going to take his first match of the World Finals, doing it with his favorite deck.
He can feel it. Ta can feel it. Can he get one more prediction? It's not going to happen. Ryley taken game 2 and the set overall. Hey, he might be ready for the big stage.
I mean, putting all the naysayers to rest. A clean game with the best deck in his arsenal. You love to see it, and I cannot.
I got to talk to Ryley, but I didn't get to talk to Sub. I wonder how he's feeling about this match. I know that he was extremely excited yesterday after beating his friend Pedro, which, you know, once again, there's got to be mixed feelings there. But as always, he looks locked in on the podium.
And for some reason, Sub kind of shaking his head after the Skeletons were split in the middle by Ryley. Not exactly sure why you would be all that shocked when that seems like a standard Ryley play.
He might not be shocked, but maybe just after seeing that one card, he realized that Ryley's using a deck that he was not expecting. He probably knew just off those Skeletons that Ryley was going to play this Pig's Earthquake deck, and maybe he's just not prepared for that deck in this situation.
Yeah, Ryley probably going to, and that is a lot of damage. Speaking of shaking your head, Ryley going to allow his tower to get all the way down to 1927. Terrible interaction for him right there. And I mean, he's going to be able to clean up the RG nicely, but that is just too much damage to give up 1 minute into this game.
Skelly? No Skelly. Skelly not going to connect. Roll delivery on the left to clean the ghost. Sub knows Ryley doesn't have roll delivery in cycle and low elixir. He pops the ability early, predicting the Ice Spirit and forcing out a cannon. Sub is now up elixir with Evil Roll Giant in cycle, and Ryley does not have cannon ready, and he's shaking his head.
Yeah, I mean, what do you do if you're Ryley? Do you try and apply pressure with Royal Hogs at the bridge at 5? And I mean, if you're Sub, there's no cannon, there's no royal delivery, the Evo Skeletons are out of cycle. I would just go RG at the bridge, and there we go. He finally goes RG at the bridge. Maybe he's trying to save up for this lightning, perhaps?
Wow, almost stopping the RG to no hits there. RG gonna make one happen. No Archer Queen ability back in cycle yet. Fisherman's gonna take care of this. Looking at this matchup overall, I mean, we saw a similar one yesterday where Muhammad Ali was gonna actually win even versus the Monk version. So I would say here, there's definitely gonna be a little bit of an advantage for Ryley, but looking at the tower HP in single elixir, it's gonna be tough in order for Ryley to come back and really get some damage here, especially versus the Royal Ghost and the Quick Cycle. And another difference is this lightning. You know, last time there was Fireball for the Pigs, but in this situation, maybe lightning's even better to wipe those Archer Queens off the board.
Yeah, you have to think because of that massive damage advantage that the lightning is probably going to help out quite a bit. But I mean, especially with these pro players, everything I've ever been taught doesn't mean anything because of how well they play it. Getting the tower down to 1,500 is Ryley on Sub, and the Archer Queen able to be taken out fully. Sub electing to kind of go split lane pressure now that he has Ryley's stronger tower all the way down to 1909 as well.
Roll Giant and Pigs at the bridge on the left-hand side. Evo Skelly's gonna clean up the Queen on the right. Pigs are getting massive damage. The RG is not reciprocating much. And this tower is down to 614 in overtime. Ryley is so close.
Yeah, Sub getting aggressive, going in with a bar barrel to help out the HP of the Evo RG. Ryley electing to defend cheaply and go all in. If Sub can defend this, he has a chance, but I don't think he's going to be able to do it. Ryley taking game number 1, recognizing my opponent cannot stop this. No fireball. That means I can go all in and win this game.
Yeah, huge bit, but he's more...
Ryley now 3-0 on the World Final stage. That,
impressive.
Gotta say, gotta feel real good if you're Ryley or one of his many, many fans.
Miner and Barry with and Ryley with a Fisherman and Arrows. Very interesting. I'm gonna have to wait and see a couple more cards here before I try and call out a deck. But looks like Ryley might actually be playing Goblin Giant P.E.K.K.A. Very aggressive. I actually hate it when I play against this deck and they play in this way. Just so aggressive, and they have no intentions of breaking through this push simply just to get the Evo Goblin Giant cycle.
Yeah, just getting obnoxiously aggressive. Ryley choosing, I can't tell if he's going to elect to defend it. He's not. And that's going to allow Sub to get a lot of chain damage, getting the tower all the way down to 25-14. But I mean, really, you talked about it. It doesn't matter that you're giving up 500 HP or 600 HP, whatever it is. You're just trying to set yourself up for that very next push.
Arrows drop it down on the Goblin instead of popping the ability right away because he wants to use the ability on tower. Really nice log from Sub, though, knocking back the monster at the very last second. Now the ability has no way to get damage on tower.
Bomber matching up nicely, going to be able to take out the Doctor.
Ooh.
Riley going to be running, there we go, another one of those 6/5/7s. Goblin Giant, Goblin Stein, plus the Mega Knight. A very, very heavy deck. Sub has a lot of cheap answers to this. We're going to see how Ryley is going to really break through all of this.
Mega Knight on one side, Evo Goblin Giant on the right. Fisherman does pull the miner. He does not have enough elixir to go arrows on the Goblins, though. A little bit aggressive. You can see Ryley's not super happy with how that went. Now Sub's going to be up a lot of damage, and now Ryley does not have Evo Goblin Giant in cycle either. In order for Ryley to win this, he really needs to get that Evo Mega Knight plus Evo Goblin Giant combo.
Yeah, and I really like how he's splitting this. The Goblin Stein going to the unhealthy lane of Ryley, and the Doctor going to the left. And right there, Evo Bomber not trying to get chip damage on the tower, instead trying to get chip damage on the Doctor. Really smart, a lot of awareness shown from Sub.
Once again, another split lane push. The Rage just drop on the Mega Knight. The Goblin Stein ability is not popped yet. Maybe he's deciding it's better not to. The defense on the left-hand side is solid, though. And once again, Sub is just controlling. But we saw this yesterday. We saw, control decks doing really well in the single, maybe even in double. But once it gets to overtime, once Ryley can get that Evo Goblin Giant plus Evo Mega Knight together on the same push like this, it's going to be a different story.
Yeah, sometimes it really is just as simple as, okay, I have all these heavy troops. Let's play as many troops on the board as possible and make it difficult for my opponent to keep up. So far, he's keeping up, but we know how difficult it is. And right there, Rage plus the Goblin Curse going to take everything out nicely, but the Bomber going to help out quite a bit. But this is still going to get to the tower even with the log. And there we go, getting the tower all the way down to 2,000. Ryley screaming back into the match, only down 380 HP at this point.
The Goblin Curse really changed everything. This triple spell combo, if he can break through by playing Rage plus Curse on perhaps like Goblins to spawn even more Goblins with the Evo Goblin Giant offense, it could be a game changer. But once again, Ryley is not able to get this Mega Knight Evo and Goblin Giant together. He keeps having each of the Evo be separate. If you get them both, it makes it just so much more difficult to defend.
Yeah, and I mean, it really is as simple as Sub is just putting these baby pushes. He's not trying to get like these crazy pushes, not trying to overwhelm completely. Instead, he's just trying to get, the miner on top of the Crown Tower or the Goblins to apply pressure, force out these weird offensive pushes from Ryley. Doing a great job so far. And again, picture perfect defense from Sub.
And it's all about the Evo Ice Spirit. That one elixir card really just stalls the push completely. And now Sub finally finds a moment to attack. He goes for the Miner, pre-log, pre-poison with the Evo Bomber locking on tower. This is massive damage. But because of how crazy this deck is, this game is not over. Here's the push. Double Mega Knights plus a Goblin Giant on the board. But look at this poison value.
Yeah, poison coming down on defense. Even with the arrows on offense, it's not really going to be enough. I need to see more. I don't think he's going to be able to do so. I really think Sub has this locked up.
Last-ditch effort from Ryley. Evo Goblin Giant at the bridge. Curse and arrows on the Goblin Stein with the Rage, but it is simply not enough. Ryley knows it's over. He calls the good game. Sub taking game number 2.
Sub. As soon as Sub hits an 0-1, he's like, I'm actually Sub-Zero. Stop calling me Sub. I'm Sub-Zero. All right. Another potential reverse sweep on its way for Sub. Ryley trying to hang on. First 3 matches of the World Finals for him. Picture-perfect defense, picture-perfect offense. Struggled a little bit in that game number 2.
Sub has now used Poison, Log, Lightning, and Bar Barrel for his spells. He might be in a little bit of a more awkward spell situation. We see the Rage come out, maybe Sub with some sort of interesting Lava Rage deck, or maybe even a P.E.K.K.A deck with a Flying Machine in it. But whenever I see Flying Machine, I think Lava 100 times out of 100.
No Royal Recruits for you?
I mean, wait, you might be onto something. This Flying Machine plus Cage, I mean, that does think Royal Recruits. I think you might call my bluff here, perhaps.
I don't know. Still could go either way. And there we go. We're both wrong. Look at that. Although it
no,
could
I
be
think you're still right.
Recruits. Okay. All right. I was trying to make us a team. All that.
Yeah. No. You can call me out.
Together we die. All right. Yeah. So not going to be the case. I am correct. And Ryley on the opposite end going to be running P.E.K.K.A, Bomber, Baby Dragon.
Wow.
Is this the first time we've seen Baby Dragon all World Finals?
I think it might be, and I'm glad to see it here. I was about to call out how difficult a matchup can be when you don't have, you have P.E.K.K.A. You have P.E.K.K.A, you're going against recruits. It's tough sometimes, but he's got Baby Dragon and Bomber for splash damage to deal with these recruits, as well as Evo P.E.K.K.A is pretty solid as well. I think Ryley would be fairly happy with this matchup.
Yeah, and phenomenal timing. As simple, as easy as it looked from Sub to wait for the Bandit to dash on top of the tower, but still not allow the Bomber from Ryley to get any shots on the Crown Tower on the left side. It's super simple, but you need to do it. You're always saving yourself damage. If you put the arrows just a tad bit too early, you're going to place it when the Bandit is dashing. It's still going to be alive. It would still be chipping away at the tower right now. Instead, pretty easy defense for him.
So fascinating here. In the middle of the game, both players decide to leak Elixir and wait to double. And now we see both of the big Evos in the back. Recruits for Sub, P.E.K.K.A for Ryley. Who is going to win this bridge battle?
Flying Machine over the middle. Baby Dragon in defense. Placed down in the middle and going to be able to take it out. That is pretty solid defense from Ryley so far. We just have to see what this counterattack is all about for him.
Ram Rider, Bandit, and Baby Dragon on the right side. He cycled back to another round of recruits, though, really stalling everything out on both sides. Ryley can't be happy with how this shaped out. The P.E.K.K.A is healing itself a little bit, but it's not enough to break through. Maybe a second P.E.K.K.A can do it.
I mean, at this point, it feels like we're going to see a second set of recruits. Not going to be the case, though. It's going to be the Evo God Cage, and that's going to be able to fully take it out. Not fully because of the help of the Lightning, but, I mean, that feels like an overextension. I don't think you can play the Lightning in that moment.
Sub with the Ice Wizard in the back. Instead of trying to counterattack immediately, he wants to cycle back to recruits by playing the Ice Wizard, and now he can get the Evo recruits plus Ram Rider plus Rage yet again. And we know from experience now that Ryley has a very hard time of stopping it. Here it goes.
Yeah, I mean, Sub just in full control. Ryley going to place down the P.E.K.K.A, but that's going to be a dash plus just a regular hit, getting the tower down to 10-19. A massive advantage on both lanes for Sub. It's just whether or not he can defend this big push incoming from Ryley.
Evil Bomber is locked on tower right-hand side. The P.E.K.K.A is getting taken out, but he's protecting the Bomber. It is off-center, though. It is not connecting, but the Bandit does. This game is all of a sudden very close, but Sub with the counterattack left side yet again.
This offensive Ice Wizard going to apply a little bit of pressure, forcing out the Baby Dragon on defense, as well as the Bar Barrel. Sub just getting ready. Both players, triple Elixir underway. This is make it or break it time.
Raymar to the right side wants to go ops lane of P.E.K.K.A, spamming a lot on the left to try and take the P.E.K.K.A out. Ram Rider on defense to try and slow the opposing Ram Rider, but it connects no matter what.
Right here, Evo Gobcage going to be able to put in a little bit of work, but he does get the Lightning out in time. Can he get the recruits down? No, The Ram Rider is going to get the dash, getting the tower down to 619.
And Ryley knows that he cannot take turns and let his opponent attack yet again. He needs to go straight for it. Here's the Ram Rider. Will it get there? No, the cage does block, and Sub should have an opportunity to attack. Here it goes left side again.
Ram Rider not going to be able to get it. Will hit, it does get to the tower. P.E.K.K.A not placed perfectly. Right there, Bridge, Bandit, that P.E.K.K.A means nothing on the left side.
But Ryley has the Lightning, and Sub does not have a big spell. P.E.K.K.A's walking towards tower as well. Lightning does drop, the cage gets taken out, the Rage drops, and Ryley wins it! Ryley takes the best of 3!
34 HP left on the tower. Stays alive. Gets the damage in. Pekka, you know, blocking away. You know, it's not gonna make the offensive push, but it blocks everything. Hey, you're not getting through this.
Oh my gosh, that game was so intense. I'm like shaking, and I'm not even playing.
This.
Right now, Ryley, Mo, game 1. Let's go.
And you can hear the crowd into it here. Just going into game 1, I imagine if we get into game 3, it will be silent in this room. Ice Spirit to start for Ryley, and Mo with the Princess at the bridge.
Princess stopping the Ice Spirit in its tracks, getting a little bit of chip damage on top of the tower, plus the log. And Ryley could be going back to the minor Marcher. Yeah, that deck has been really, really solid this weekend.
And looking like it, seeing the Evo Knight come out here. Evo Knight plus Evo Ice Spirit. Ice Spirit, one of the strongest defensive Evos in the game as that Magic Archer comes down in the back. And what's really fascinating about this matchup is there is no big spell for Mohamed Light. So how do you take care of the Magic Archers that Ryley's gonna place? And if a Magic Archer does ever get a connection at the bridge, how do you stop it?
And Mo Light, the way he just kind of carries himself, Ryley, we heard it in the interview where, oh, how'd you know you were going to win? Well, when he played the first Goblin Barrel. With Mo, he played the Goblin Barrel, no smile, no look up, no nothing. Ryley just locked in and focused.
And Ryley does have the Tesla. You can see there, Mo not happy about something. Not exactly sure if it was the placement or what, but doesn't get a lot out of it. Goblinstein does get on tower, not going to go for the ability. 21-62 to 2 very healthy towers for Mohamed Light.
Yeah, it really felt like Ryley got a value log, was able to get the Goblin Barrel plus a little bit of damage on top of the Doctor and the Dark Goblin, and still his tower just lost 850 HP. Everything that could go right went right, and he still got tons of damage.
Oh! And the NATO doesn't kill all the Skellies. And both of them surprised by this interaction because it should have done it. Now log has to be used on the right-hand side. Goblins to the real Goblins to the left, and a great connection from Mohamed Light.
Dark Goblin getting chip damage on chip damage, getting the tower down to 2048, and that is a tough interaction to happen to you. You see it once a month, and people are complaining on Twitter. There's no time to complain. You just have to focus up and recenter yourself.
Exactly. You see Ryley kind of shaking his head there. He's played through adversity so far in this tournament. Again, I've said this on stage, off stage, probably too much. Memory of a goldfish, and Ryley needs to move on past this and just recognize a little mistake early on against Bait doesn't mean the game's over.
And right there, defending cleanly with the Ice Spirit, but Mohamed Light 2 steps ahead, getting the Princess chip damage. And Ryley going to respond with his Magic Archer of his own, finally getting just a little bit of damage on that left side.
Yeah, what a brilliant play by Mohamed Light. He goes barrel to the side knowing troops are going to come out, then goes Princess to the bridge knowing those troops are going to get on top, or the Princess is going to get on top of those troops for just a little bit more chip damage. And that's what we talk about him just thinking 85 steps in the future.
Yeah, and these Princesses are scary. Ice Spirit able to make the full-on jump. NATO is going to stop him for a second, but still going to get 2 stabs on top of the tower.
19-22, 18-21. Mo's lowest tower is 26-86. This game is about as clean as it can get for the Pharaoh.
And right there, Magic Archer not doing its job. Princess on the left, fully staying alive. Log should be able to stop nothing because the Princess stops walking.
Mo looking for something with that. Log doesn't hit it, but the tower, 1763. Another Princess comes down. Magic Archer to snipe. Nice placement there from Ryley.
And it's clear that Ryley has a lot of practice in this because bridge Teslas are exactly how you want to win this. And Mo, again, stopping. Hey, every time Ryley thinks he's one step ahead, it's just not the case. Mo protecting everything beautifully.
I mean, this is the Mohamed Light effect in full force. Doctor getting more damage on that left-hand tower. Evo Skelly's popping off on the right. Magic Archer comes down.
Wow. Perfect defense right there. Log taking out fully the right side.
Wow.
And Princess, oh my goodness.
On the predict. Knowing spears are going to come out, he places the Princess a few tiles away from the bridge, and that is just next level AC.
And right there, great timing from the Doctor with Mohamed Light. Ice Spirit not going to be enough to take out the Dark Goblin just yet. Getting a little bit of value on top of the Knight, and will that third take it out? And it does. But Mo Light, I know that next card that's coming down is going to be a Princess.
NATO in, Miner in, barrel to the right-hand side. Princess up high, nice catch. 1286, 1287 are Ryley's 2 towers.
Man, this is peak Clash Royale. 30 seconds left, Law coming down on the left, NATO on the right. 2 Princesses, Dark Goblin, 2 Dark Goblins, Doctor up. What is Ryley going to do?
Look at this map domination now. Barrel on the left-hand side. Ryley knows it's over. And Mo has won game number 1.
Growling at his opponent is Mo, and he deserves to do that. That was gorgeous. Bait against the greatest bait player of all time, and he showed up.
The nerves for Ryley. What's going through his head? Just lost to his deck.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just, I can't stress it enough. Ryley played such a good game.
Mo going mortar. Mo maybe going mortar, Cannoneer. Everybody be quiet.
All right, I'll be taking over this game.
Evo Bats plus Miner plus Cannoneer. Wow, and he's going back to before Gobstein. He might be going Cannon Cart plus Skeleton King. This was actually pretty popular for a minute. Right after Gobstein got released.
Yeah, we were talking about it earlier. It feels like we're not really seeing Wizard all that often, and it's because of how strong the Goblinstein is. But Ryley kind of going away from everything and just putting the Goblinstein in the same deck as the Wizard.
And Zappy's there, and this is such a fascinating construction of this deck, AC. You can see Ryley going, what are those Zappies doing in this deck? Now you have the Mortar, you have the Cannoneer once the wheels fall off, you have the Zappies to stun and slow this Ram Rider, and this is a lot of trouble, an uphill battle, if you will, for Ryley.
Yeah, perfect timing right there. Ghost gets that one swing on top of the 0.5 HP cannon. Cart, there we go,
there
cannon cart, and right there, Ryley gonna set up with the P.E.K.K.A, and I think that's what you gotta do. You need to set up your P.E.K.K.As in order to have a shot.
And what's gonna be also very interesting about this matchup is if those Evo Bats do pop off, that Rage will not be enough to take care of them. Obviously the Goblinstein ability will, and so will the Wizard, but the normal response to Bats in the E-Spirit and that Rage will not be enough.
Ryley just kind of letting his P.E.K.K.A go to waste.
I think Mo was trying to go for the King Tower activation there. If the Mortar stayed alive and the E-Spirit jumped, just a little bit of flair, you know. He was like, did I not show you enough in game 1?
Oh, you want more? Okay, I can deliver. And right there, a value arrows, and right there,
wow.
Any of the Zappies on top, they stop the Ram Rider dead in its tracks.
The density of the Skeleton King there just completely blocking up the lane. I mean, it's something that we don't talk about a ton in Clash Royale, but the density of units, the thickness, if you will, that's the 2 C's thick, will stop them at the bridge or stop them as they're charging.
P.E.K.K.A trying to go to work, not going to be the case, and it almost takes out the cannon cart. Instead, it gets just starts going for the skellies, and the P.E.K.K.A's still alive somehow, but so is the cannon cart. The cannon cart's still kind of healthy.
The Zappy's resetting it. Now he goes Skeleton King opposite lane. Gonna have a bunch of souls there. Mo sitting there pumping his fist. He knows this game is on the line right now. Ryley's low in elixir.
Yeah, he's going to probably activate the king.
What's he gonna do?
He has nothing.
That cannon cart is still alive opposite lane.
The Bats are going to be able to come behind, and the arrows miss.
The cannon's on.
Game.
The cannon's on. Wow, Mortar's on. That is going to do it. Ryley's still fighting. 813 HP remains.
Zappies are going to stop the Doctor from resetting the Mortar. The Mortar getting a second shot. Doctor doing all it can do. Miner in the back gets caught by the Ram Rider, but that's really not going to be enough. You need offense, and you just can't do that against Mohamed Light.
Mohamed Light pouring it on right now that Ryley is fighting for his lives. Not even making the right defensive play. He's making the only defensive play.
Cannon cart at the bridge, followed by the Bats. E-Spirit going to be able to dash on top of everything. But I mean, Mohamed Light, he's known for his spectacular defense. How do you how do you come back against him?
I don't think you can, AC. I mean, regardless of anything, he can defend his way out. Skeleton King's on top of that tower. He can still send miners in for the next 70-ish seconds. Bats are gonna get a ton of value here. And there you go. Rage in the corner. Ryley knows it's over. Mohamed Light, perfect in this upper finals.
Cannon Cart going to be able to take out the P.E.K.K.A. And again, these just are such incredibly strong pushes. Miner in front of Goblin Gang. That's not a push. He just finds the answers that nobody else finds.
Miner to the back. Evo P.E.K.K.A. to clean. Arrows to get the Gob Gang. Ryley's still alive. Evo Mortar opposite lane.
And that's going to be, I mean, that's going to be a strong defense right there. Okay, I mean,
yeah.
he's recovering.
He hasn't given up yet. You have to admire it as the Miner goes in to pull the P.E.K.K.A. back, and that is just a beautiful play. Mo knows exactly what was going to come down that lane.
Getting a little bit of chip damage on top of the tower is the wizard for Ryley. And finally, we see him start to build these big pushes. We see him jump for joy. Good game coming out from Mo. Mo takes it 2-0.
Mohamed Light will be back in our CRL 2024 Grand Finals. Wait, you know what? We'll talk about it in just a moment. What do we got?
Game number 1 between the rivals. Let's hop straight into it. Back to your question once again. I think that Ryley, you know, he played okay, but just the skeletons getting onto the Evo Knight and just a couple unfortunate interactions at the beginning, it seemed like Ryley really got in a spot where he had no way to attack.
Now, was that Skeletons interaction because the NATO was too soon, too late, or just an odd interaction?
Me and Rich were actually talking about it. It happens when you're pulling Skeletons away from something, or it kind of happens when you're pulling Skeletons towards your unit, right? So he was turning those Skeletons towards his Knight rather than away, and it made it so that they were able to kind of survive.
Oh, it's almost like they pulled him to attack while they were spawning, while they were getting taken off the board. And here we go, Lucas going to bait against Ryley, who is running Lava Hounds. So, you know, maybe he saw something that Mohamed Light did that he liked in terms of creating that deck or that matchup.
And I did also talk to Alan about what he thought both of his players might use in this moment. And Lucas does play bait, and Ryley might have predicted it with this Lava Hound Arrows matchup.
And that is a huge, huge connection there. You can see Lucas already a bit stunned from it. 22-12 to 12-03. Ryley drawing blood first.
Yeah, I mean, this is really interesting. I also talked a lot with Ryley and Mo about, you know, workshopping a lava deck that can counter bait because of how important it is in this World Finals. And maybe he's found it. He has the Evo Bomber as well as the arrows for solid defense, cheap defense, and offense at the same time.
Now, do you think the Lightning will be able to find its way into this equation more than what we just saw in the very beginning?
It's a good point. I don't know what Lucas' last card is. If it is Goblinstein, I think that Lightning will be imperative for breaking through. But I really don't know what this last card is.
Great damage there from the Goblin Barrel on that right-hand side, protecting this Dark Goblin to go down the left.
Okay, Dark Goblin getting taken out. Evo Cage does decent. Similar thing as we've seen with Lava before. He needs cheap defense or just no defense at all. He needs to get a Lava and needs to maybe even get a tower trade going here if Ryley's going to win this.
Yeah, really nice, I'd say cheap defense there, like you said, Juicy. Still getting some offense in on the other side, 1644. Now predicts the guards, but one guard still stays alive, takes the Princess off the board.
And look at that Evo Bomber.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Evo Bomber cleans up the barrel. Now it's cleaning up the Valk. That's only 2 elixir. And now he can spend everything else on offense with the arrows for the Dark Goblin.
Valk does get a shot on tower, but this is exactly what we were talking about yesterday. I think maybe it was LCOP who was just not getting enough value out of his Evo Bomber in this matchup. You need that Evo Bomber to be able to clean up barrels. You can't only use your arrows and your guards.
And Ryley's just stacking on the pressure. Lava,
That's
Silly
it.
Dragons, Flying Machine, Lightning. This tower is down.
And now you talk about that reset of confidence. Ryley bouncing back, knowing he's still got it. Got to feel good there. And then Lucas on the other side of it now, facing elimination once again. Air of being someone competing on a stage for a massive amount of cash. What on earth would be going through your mind at this moment?
Hopefully, I'm gonna win, I'm gonna win, I'm gonna win.
That's what you like to hear. Yesterday, Lucas was telling me that his mantra to himself is, I'm not nervous, they're nervous. I'm not nervous, they're nervous. And right now, Lucas playing pretty well, but Ryley on top of it. And of course, now we see Ryley bringing out bait. I thought he might, and that's the scary thing, right? Is even if you know it's coming, he's not scared of running it.
Yeah, the question is, does Lucas have the facilities to deal with this super high pressure bait that we've seen succeed time and time again? I don't know. I don't know if he has the log or the Barbarian Barrel or maybe an extra spell to deal with this Dargot Princess combo. That's really what you're going to need.
And a Prince in the back, Juicy.
Oh, and the Mega Knight. He did not defend the Goblin Barrel, and he's going all in with the push. I like this play. Will it pan out, or will Ryley be able to defend? He's very low in elixir.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh, Mega Knight on the tower. Knight there to take, Prince there to take care of the Valkyrie. Royal Ghost opposite lane. Damage in on the left, damage in on the right. Lucas taking control.
Game cleaning up. We have a curse
There's
plus
the
arrows.
first. And he goes, all right, well, one day this curse is gonna work out for somebody.
Wow. I mean, I love Lucas' deck, though. This is great. You have the arrows for the Princess, the Dark God. Very similar to last matchup, actually. And then, of course, the curse is going to be very good versus Gang as well. And that Mega Knight will apply so much pressure in front of the Prince.
So, Juicy, this is your stream. You're 20 seconds away from double time, or double elixir. Wow, I've done this for 7 years. What is your thought on this matchup?
Yeah, I got to give it to Lucas with the arrows, with the Mega Knight, with that curse. But we know Ryley is the best log bait player in the world. If there's anyone that can make it happen, it's him.
So Ryley gonna have to do some innovation here as Lucas goes to take out that Princess. AQ on the opposite lane does still have her charge, takes out the Goblin Gang here and sets up an Evo MK in the back as this Archer Queen should be completely defended.
Queen rolling through to try to set up some defense and have some DPS for this Evo Mega Knight. I think Ryley also has Evo Valkyrie in cycle, but this Evo Mega Knight is a force to be reckoned with either way.
And again, Lucas going with a very, very cheap, call it a defense if you want, takes a bunch of damage, 16, 12, 18, 88, as this push on Ryley's side of the board dies on the Vine. 979 though, Ryley's lowest tower.
The pre-curse, expecting a Gob Gang.
Wow.
He catches some Goblins. I think that forces a response. E-Spirit does get it.
And AQ does get a shot in. Very nice predictive play there by Lucas as he goes Miner to the Princess once again.
Wait, he's shaking his head, the Miner!
Yep, I knew it. Goes get the King Tower activation. And he needed to go one tile to the right there.
And there's the barrel yet again. Ryley down damage, but in a decent situation.
Yeah.
Can he bring it back without a big spell?
And that King Tower activation is going to be so helpful against the MK and the Prince as they come across the board. Oh! And you can see Ryley shocked by that interaction. Juicy's got his hands on his head.
Yeah, I mean, he just played the Archer Queen ability just slightly too early, and that is going to change everything. Now Lucas immediately having the opportunity to attack.
And you can see Lucas has no fear in going Miner on top of these Princesses because he's ready for him to drop a Gang on top of it and get more value out of it. So one of Ryley's best units has been completely handicapped by Lucas's Goblin Curse. And yes, you heard that right.
Yeah, I mean, I talk about this when I play Mega Draft a lot. Sometimes a card doesn't need to be played to get value. Sometimes it only needs to prevent your opponent from playing the card they need to defend.
That's brilliant, the scare factor of the card being there, and that is why Lucas has been, like I said, very, very willing to get on top of those Princesses with the Miner. Obviously wishes he didn't activate King Tower, but not the end of the world.
Icebeard dropping down defense versus the barrel. These barrels are consistent damage right now. It might be possible for the comeback as we head into triple time.
Royal Ghost on the right-hand tower. Miner on the left. Royal Ghost gets another shot in. Royal Ghost plus AQ to clean. 460 and 364.
The Prince!
The Prince!
Whoa! Gang coming down barely in time. We have 43 seconds left on the clock, and here's a huge push right side.
And it feels like we're going to game 3, Juice. I have no idea how Ryley's going to do this, but he could. There's the Miner in with the curse and the arrows.
Gang on defense. A curse on offense yet again with 3-card cycle. Miner, arrows, curse. He calls the game. Lucas taking game number 2.
We are going to game number 3. Lucas and Ryley.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I love this. This is why I love this job, Andrew. This is crazy.
And the Goblin Curse finally pays off on the final day of what could be the final game for Lucas. And he's
good luck from Lucas. Ryley's locked in. Ice Spirit at the bridge. Bats to defend. So Evo Ice Spirit and Evo Bats. I mean, seeing Bats from Lucas makes me think it's a Mortar type of deck. And Ryley with Ice Spirit and Goblins. Oh, wait, no. Is Lucas playing Lumber Loon right now? That is truly wild.
Yeah, you see that Lumberjack come out with the Evo Bats. There's the Heal Spirit, and Juice, that is the second time we've seen Lucas rock the Heal Spirit, and the first time was with great success.
Yeah, we'll see if he can replicate that as we start to see a little bit more of his deck. Ryley with a little bit of a more standard deck. I still am guessing at what kind of win conditions we're going to see here.
I know. I mean, Ryley looking like he has pieces of what could be a mortar deck, but obviously we're at World Finals. We've seen a lot of different things here throughout the weekend. And then, yeah, Lucas with the Lumberjack, and there's the mortar from Ryley. And I mean, could it be Lumberjack with RG? I mean, you saw how well RG was, yesterday, and there it is. RG comes down.
Yeah, absolutely. Great call. Great call. RG Lumberjack with Heal Spirit. This is an old school RG breakthrough type of deck. You got the Lumberjack tanking, dropping a Rage, speeding up the RG damage, and you have the Heal Spirit healing it up, and it's already working great for Lucas.
Yeah, great damage there for Lucas, 21-15, and maybe Ryley expecting the bats with the immediate drop of the Goblinstein up front. Goblinstein will get to tower, so you could see him wanting to use an ability. Bit of a flinch there from Ryley.
Yeah, I think Ryley was trying to predict that Lumberjack with the Miner and basically keep his cannon card alive to get a really good start already. If it worked out, it would have been great, but not going to work this time.
Yeah, Lucas trying really hard to get that King Tower activation. Doesn't get it either, though. Takes a good amount of damage. 21-53 for Lucas, 21-15 for Ryley as the second RG comes down. That's the evolved one. That's how it works.
Yeah, Ryley does have defense for the RG this time with the mortar, with the cannon card. Fisherman distracted too, not able to pull the cannon card right away. What will Ryley do in this counter push? We do see the Goblinstein tanking. The Goblinstein ability will pop, clean up the Evo bats. Very successful. Can he get to the tower though?
And Lumberjack does just enough as a high fish boy comes out. There's the Doctor down low to stun that Miner. Bats in cycle once again.
And we see a defensive mortar played one tile up, preventing any fireball value on weak side tower. This is a very slow match compared to what we've seen today, but I love it. It's very methodical. Never mind.
And there it is, Juicy. Thank you for saying that, because you know that Caster Curse is working in our favor right now. This Lumberjack's going to go down all the way back around to a mortar, though, is Ryley. And that also means that Lucas is very close. Oh, a great predictive log on the Goblins. And I believe Lucas is just one card away from an Evo RG.
And you guys watching right now might think, oh, why pre-log on the strong side tower? But it's very important in this kind of matchup. Lucas needs multiple RGs. He needs that dueling pressure. So any damage on either side matters a lot.
The Evo Ice Spirit actually takes out the Lumberjack, so the Evo RG is able to get raged up. Cannon goes down, but it does bait out the Lumberjack just because Lucas wanted to be safe.
Roll Giant, one more shot left side. But we see Ryley in overall damage lead just by focusing on this right-hand side tower.
Only 90 seconds remain in one of their World Finals run here in 2024. One game in, one game up for both.
Oh my God!
Oh, the perfect timing there. Lucas by a hair.
I really thought that cannon card was locking on, but Lucas with the reaction time speed of a lion. Goblin's counter pushing, he doesn't have to worry about it. King Tower's activated.
This damage from the one Goblin. No, excuse me, King Tower activated. I've played this game before. 2380, 1976. Lowest tower for Lucas, 1801. Lowest for Ryley, 1769. After the Fireball log comes in to 1711.
I don't know how I feel about these defensive Evo Mortar. Look, another Fireball dropping down and help clean up.
He's cycling like crazy.
Yeah.
50 seconds remaining. There has not been one offensive Evo Mortar that I can think of.
Yeah, and now we have a bridge battle. We have the Goblin Monster, the Mortar, the Cannon cards, the Goblinstein ability. It reaches tower. That's good damage. This game is so close.
1500, 1504. Lucas in the lead. Evo bats come down. That's good value there for Ryley. But one bat does stay alive. Ability comes in. Opposite lane pressure here from Lucas.
Miner on the right, Lumberjack, Evo Roll Giant with Goblinstein on left. Ice Spirit does connect. That will slow down the RG. Does he have a mortar? He doesn't care to defend. He's worried about the right side.
Fireball log from both. 1195, 1239. I think Ryley's going to win the spell cycle race. We need one more fireball. Ryley's got it. Ryley's got it. That's going to do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ryley taking the most important best of three we've seen today.
102 HP, separating second and third place in a...
Everybody thought he would be nervous. All these players are playing for money. He's playing for pride. He's playing to win it all. The Log Bay God, it's Ryley!
And keep in mind, folks, that Mohamed Light is for the first time playing a grand final at Worlds from the upper bracket, which means Ryley has to beat him twice. That is, beating him once is hard enough.
I mean, no one's been able to do it. It's only happened once this whole year where someone was able to beat Mohamed Light in an upper bracket reset, and that was the man that was just eliminated in Lucas. So, and I'm sure there's a statistician or an analyst out there, has it ever happened other than that, period? Has anyone ever done it other than that one time in our 4th monthly final this year? Well, Ryley might be the second man ever.
And I'm wondering if nerves are a factor here, because clearly Allen giving Ryley comfort in this moment, running this pig cycle deck, very control heavy, and this is one of those ones that a lot of coaches have talked about being a great pick when you're feeling nerves.
I mean, it's a great deck. It's so strong in the meta right now. It's been around for so long. I love this. It's just very versatile. You have other ways to win other than just your win con, right? You can spell cycle out. AQ is going to get a lot of value if your opponent doesn't have lightning, and as you said, Rich, calm those nerves back to basics.
You do have to wonder, though. We're talking about these two top-tier coaches in Allen on Ryley's side and Mohamed Light back with Jebba's here, back with Julesy here in 2024.
Yeah.
And yeah, look at that contact on the right-hand side. And you have to wonder about those mind games, right? Is Mo and Julesy cooking up a prediction on their opponent, knowing, hey, you're going to be nervous here in game number 1?
Now we've seen this Monk AQ situation before going up against Mohamed Light. Did not work out for his opponent in LCOP, but we'll see if Momo or Ryley have if Mo can get a little bit more out of his Monk on Ryley's AQ.
And look at the way the Monk ability shut down the Evo Skellies there, right? Gave plenty of time for the clear, didn't result in the damage maybe that Mo wanted, but now he's in a great spot to shut down this next Pix push.
I mean, I don't have, you probably have it. Is this the exact matchup that we saw between LCOP and Mohamed Light? Just switched?
Yeah, it does seem familiar. I can go ahead and look through my notes.
And as two of them set up in the back, Ice was in the back. And it is the deck, Rich.
Wow.
It's the exact same thing. So they both call each other's number and flip-flop.
The spell cycle plus the pigs have been working so far on the right-hand side. Clearing off the AQ with the reflection, and now a pretty big downhill push coming into the left-hand lane with that cannon low. Of course, the cycle is so fast, but now the dual lane pressure.
Yeah, I mean, Ryley's ready to get another cannon out, but, you know, Mo's already got that second RG down. Evo RG plus that jump there from the Evo Ice Spirit just a second late, so Skelly's not able to take it out.
And that's a bit of a spend there for Ryley. Now dual lane pressure and the lead for Mohamed Light in that left-hand lane.
Fireball plus guards here, going to be a nice cleanup. Just a little tickle on the tower within this EQ.
Heading into sudden death overtime, this just under 200 HP lead crosswise from the top right of your screen to the bottom left-hand side of your screen. And that Ice Whiz gave just that little extra edge here.
And a little bit of a slow pause here as both these guys trying to create a little bit of offense, but still trying to feel each other out with 90 seconds remaining here in our first game of our grand finals.
And are we going left-right? Here we go.
We are. Piggy's right into an Evo RG. Evo Ice Spirit in to stop.
Fireball, admittedly late just because of the situation, but look at this Evo RG on the right-hand side. Log trying to push back, not going to be enough. Gets one, will it get a second one? And this damage in both lanes is dramatic.
That is huge. The cannon just a second late, and now nothing on top of the Ice Wizard. Ice Wizard putting in some DPS, and Mo goes, wow, that is the last thing I ever expected you to do.
Yeah, you see the look on his face. That Ice Wiz just pushing to the outside, getting around the Royal Giant with nothing else to target. Here we go. Big push on the left-hand side. Man, that's it. GG. Well played. Mohamed Light is one win away from immortality.
And that was so clean, so dominant. Red from top to bottom. Every single time Ryley was setting up a defense, Mo was already ready for a second RG.
And maybe one of the biggest differences in a moment like this from the rest of the year as we play remotely throughout the regular season is usually in this big moment, you have your friends, your coaches on chat with you, cracking jokes, keeping you calm, and that's been a big part of helping Mohamed Light overcome his nerves in the past, but now he seems totally past that. The question is, how does Ryley self-soothe in this situation?
Look, I know that those are very and there's the Evo Bomber. And I know that there's noise-canceling headphones there on both of our players, but you can feel the electricity in the room, and you can still hear those very loud cheers. And you know Ryley's thinking about it as Momo goes Gobstein left-hand side. Ryley looking like he's doing a throwback to 2021.
Wow.
And it is. It's
wow.
Loon Freeze. That is what Mugi beat Mohamed Light with back in the day.
You know what? If you got to take a swing, swing hard.
That's right.
First minute passing away, and with that little shock, Ryley will pull back within about 450 HP as Mohamed Light lavas up.
Balloon immediately opposite lane, Lumberjack in tow. Mohamed Light has that Evo Gob Cage up high. Gonna make short work of the Lumberjack, but it will still rage up this Balloon once it goes down. No!
No! Oh boy. And Mo's gonna get a little bit on it with that flying machine and now create a lot of pressure.
Yeah, he's got a great counter push here. Brawler goes hard on that right-hand side, flying machine on the left.
And the Evo Electro Dragon just going for the one snowball plus the arrows to clear. Oh my word.
And Mo knows! That's it! That's it!
Oh my!
Mohamed Light is gonna be our two-time world champion and consensus greatest of all time!
I mean, there's still play to go. Camera, don't. Why are we pulling away? They're running the goal. There's still gameplay. Folks, what are you doing? We're still going. Mo's like, dude, I didn't win yet. And Ryley can do nothing but laugh right now. 1 minute left. The room here is in shambles.
I mean, it's already said and done, but that's not the way you want it to go. But it's already said and done, Rich.
A little distraction here. Now look, if Ryley can pull off this right now, it would be tremendous. But you can hear the murmurs and the laughs in the room. And can Ryley refocus? Can Mo hold on to it?
And the freeze is in. Balloon is coming down the lane. Mohamed Light's gonna take this balloon drop. 2 balloon drops in. 2 balloon drops and death damage, Rich. Evo Bomber on the tower in the pocket, though.
This is nothing short of being potentially the wildest ending in CRL World Finals history. Tries to go for the Electro, cannot get it done. And now we can make it official. Throw up the lights, hit the sparks. Mohamed Light is now your 2-time world champion.